Time having arrived, I call the meeting of the Finance Committee to order, and I do see that we do have a quorum. As it has been customary in the previous presidentship, please rise and help us salute our great flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Councilors, we heard from Councilor Minichiello, who will not be here tonight, and then Councilor Tavares is out of the country as well. Madam Clerk. Mr. Clerk.
That's all right.
Item 1, please.
Item 1, we have the acceptance of the minutes of the December 18th, 2023 Finance Committee meeting.
That will be placed on file.
Item 2, ordered that the City Council authorizes the acceptance and expenditure of a donation in the amount of $1,000 from Mount Sinai Corporation, DBA K-Beauty and Hair, to the Brockton Police Department. Invited Brenda Perez, Police Chief or Designee, Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer or Designee.
Well, I heard from Mr. Clarkson, who could not be here, but the young lady from the Police Department, please come forward and at least share with us what this is all about.
Good evening and congratulations. Good evening, council members. So I'm here to represent the police department. The chief could not make it today. I am Eugenia Lopes, the grant writer for all of you who have not met me yet. We would first like to thank K Beauty and Hair for their donation. This donation the police intends to use for the purchases for our youth program. Through our Shannon grant, food is not an allowable cost. So we're intending to use these funds to purchase food for our youth programs.
Councilors, do we have any questions for Ms. Lopes?
Motion to recommend favorably.
Second.
All those in favor? Motion has been properly made in second. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? Thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, item number 2.
Item 3, ordered that the following named sum be and the same is hereby transferred as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. A transfer of $341,886 from Parking Authority Certified Retained Earnings to Capital Fund, $341,886. Invited Eric Atkinson, Chief Executive Director, Parking Authority, Troy Clarkson, Chief Financial Officer, or his designee.
Mr. Exon, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, councilors, for hearing me. I'm here before you requesting the transfer of $341,886 from our retained earnings to capital expenses that we're going to have for the garages. We have 2 bids that went out and were completed. One for a concrete island at the Carpenter Garage. The bid for that was $42,300. The second is for park systems, which is the mechanical systems used in both parking garages. The cost for this is $299,586,000. The Department of Revenue recently certified our retained earnings to the tune of just over $1.9 million. So the money is available for these projects, and we're asking for your approval to use those funds.
Councilors, any questions for Mr. Atkinson? Councilor Fowler.
Not a question, but just for the public, explain retained earnings is not tax money, it's what you've taken in terms of receipts.
Right. The way the parking authority works, we're self-funded, so any money that we do not use at the end of the year goes into our retained earnings. We've been building this up over the last couple of years so that we can do these capital improvements, and that's where we are now.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Councilor Thompson.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and good evening, Mr. Atkinson. So just to kind of better understand, we're building an island at the entrance of the Carpenter Garage, and that's to facilitate an automatic gate system for that garage. Is that correct?
Correct.
Now, so the island is one thing. The automatic gate is the parks system?
That's part of the park system, yes.
What else is included in the park system? The gate, but what else? Is that the pay by foot
It includes
machine?
Any kiosks that would be used for payment. It's for the entire system. When people enter, they'll be using cards so that they can access the garage, anything that's going to relate to the entrance and exit from the garages is included in it.
Okay, so just kind of like a lot of other municipal garages, this would be press a button at the gate, get a ticket, and then pay that ticket at some kiosk inside the garage. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. How many of those systems, the actual pay-at systems, would be in the carpenter garage?
In the carpenter garage, we'll have one on each floor, so 4.
Perfect. And so when's the expected time frame for installation and operation?
From the time that the contract is signed by everybody here at City Hall, the vendor will have 180 days to install.
Okay. So that's over at the carpenter garage, and if you could give me just a little leeway, Mr. Chairman, I'm interested in the Adams garage as well. Is there any intention to kind of do the same thing over at Adams?
As far as the kiosk
automated
system?
gate? Yeah, an automated gate with a kiosk system?
Well, there will be an automated gate for people that have card access. In the future, we'll have the ability to let people go out without the interaction of a person, but initially, we're going to still have that.
So at first, it'll be a gate system with key card access, and that'd be for, what, renters and City Hall employees, stuff like that?
Anyone with a monthly pass, yes. So it could be City Hall employees or any of the local businesses that use our facility.
And then with the hopeful expectation at some time thereafter, a kiosk system like what we're putting into the carpenter garage would also be available in the Adams garage?
It'll be the same system in both garages, so yes.
But only key card access first in Adams. But will there eventually be an ability for anybody, any public person, to access the Adams garage via kiosk?
Well, we have 2 types of parkers. We have our monthly parkers and then our transient parkers. So the monthly parkers in the Adams garage right now go through a card system. In the carpenter garage, it's a license plate reader, so there's nothing that's needed there. Once we go to the new systems, it's going to be the same in both, so that the monthly parkers will have card access to get in and out. And then the transients will go through any kiosks.
Okay, so, all right, so similar systems in both garages.
Same systems.
Okay, perfect. When is the expectation of it being installed and operational over at Adams?
Well, once again, it has to be installed 180 days from when the contract is executed. Because we're doing the island over at the carpenter garage, the expectation is we're going to start at the Adams garage, so that would be finished first. And then once that's done, the island will be completed and the work at the carpenter garage will be done.
Okay,
so both of them will be done within 6 months.
Okay, so the Adams garage is currently getting this similar upgrade once this contract goes out?
Yeah, the only difference is we have an island already at the Adams garage, so we don't need to do that concrete work.
Okay. Is the monies that we're transferring today also paying for the Adams garage park system?
Yes.
Okay, so both garages underneath this one transfer?
Correct.
Okay, great, that's good to
It's
hear.
the same vendor for both, so the contract was done to include both garages.
Great. And then, so once this kiosk system or the park system is installed, is there any expectation to extend hours at Adams, or will it remain in its current hourly capacity?
That's going to be a discussion that we'll need to have at that time. If we need to staff it, we'll have to discuss that. So right now, the plan once we go live with the system is to keep the same hours, but in the future, it'll be up to, our board and, deciding what's the best thing to do and what's cost effective.
Okay. Right now, once this infrastructure is installed, I know previously we did an upgrade to the lighting system over in Adams, and I believe also to the security camera system in Adams. Is that?
Correct.
Okay. So let's say operationally, it would be the infrastructure would be installed to potentially increase the hours of Adams in the future, outside of a walking security guard or some?
The technical capability will be there, yes.
Great. Previously, in speaking with the mayor, there was discussion of a $3 million earmark from the federal government regarding the Adams Garage. Do we have any update on that? Was that approved? Was that accepted?
I don't
Do you
have
know?
any information on that.
Okay. Outside of this park system upgrade, is there any other maintenance or infrastructure improvements happening at the Adams Garage?
Nothing that's scheduled at this time.
Okay. And then just lastly, the linking lot. I know there were issues with some of the cameras in that facility. Do we have any plans on replacing or upgrading or adding any cameras to the linking lot?
We have cameras. The problem with that lot right now is we need antenna installed so that we can use them. We had a meeting actually earlier today to discuss this. We're working with IT to contact a vendor to get those antennas in, and as soon as we can get them in, the IT department is going to install them. I don't have a specific timetable, but it is a work in progress.
Great. So that's something that you can do with your current funds and your current operational costs. So there's nothing that you would need to come to council for any transfer or anything.
No, the cost for each antenna is a few $100s, so it'll be well below the threshold that we need to come.
Okay, great. Great. Well, I appreciate those updates. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Councilor Thompson. Anybody else?
Motion to recommend favorably?
Second.
Motion has been properly made and second to recommend favorably. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? It carries.
Thank you,
Thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, number 4.
Item number 4, that the following named sum be and the same is hereby transferred as the same was submitted by the mayor as follows. Transfer of $16,000 from library shift differential, $16,000, to library overtime, $16,000, in order to cover unanticipated expenses for the remainder of the fiscal year. Invited Paul Engel, Director, Brockton Public Libraries, Troy Clarkson, CFO, or his designee.
Mr. Engel, welcome.
Good afternoon, Council President and City Council. Yeah, this is just a straight-up transfer to cover overtime expenses in this fiscal year from our shift differential. As Troy mentioned in his email, there's plenty of money in that differential to cover this transfer.
Councilors?
Motion to
any
recommend
questions?
favorably?
Second.
A motion has been properly made and second to recommend favorably. All those in favor? Anybody opposed? It carries. Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you, councilors.
Thank you.
Councilors, that kind of concludes the agenda, a short agenda. I want to make sure that we do not get used to these short agendas, both in the council side and on the FinCom side. 7:15. So do we have any council recognitions? I guess we're in a hurry. Councilor Thompson.
Yes, thank you. I did not bring it up on my phone, but I know this Sunday in Mansfield will be the NAACP's annual Martin Luther King Day breakfast. I believe it starts at 8 a.m. over in Mansfield. So any constituent or any member of this city council, this is an annual event. It's always been a good event in the past. I'm looking forward to this year's, but I invite everyone here at this council and out in the audience to join us this Saturday, January 20th, for the annual NAACP Martin Luther King Day breakfast. Thank you.
All right. Mr. Clerk, we're good?
I'm good.
Well, having no further business of this committee, I will adjourn this meeting.